Hey everyone, what's up? It's Sarah and welcome back to my channel, Reality Squad. So I was going to talk about James Charles today, but we're going to talk about him tomorrow because there is some life after lockup tea that I really want to discuss. So Lindsey, who is in prison, of Scott and Lindsey, she did an interview with Starcasm, and it's going to be a two-part interview. So this is just part one, but she revealed a lot of details we didn't know before, and I wanted to kind of go through my biggest takeaways from her interview. And I'm not going to say that I believe everything that she says, because some things don't really make sense, and we'll talk about that. But definitely let me know, you guys, down in the comments what you think about this interview. So let's just jump right into it. So this was an interview that was published, the first part anyways, was published on March 3rd, so just a few days ago, by Asa Hawks, who's a reporter for Starcasm, and I will link the article in the description of this video so you guys can read the full article there. So these were my biggest takeaways, and Lindsey was, quote, willing to talk about anything and everything. So here was the first thing that she talked about. She said that because of the pandemic, when she was released, she did not have the usual resources afforded to prisoners upon release. So she says that she never met with a probation officer. She didn't receive mental health services. She never took a drug test, and she never signed her probation paperwork, which I found very interesting because one of the storylines in their story was her ankle monitor. So how did she obtain her ankle monitor if she didn't meet with anyone and she didn't sign any paperwork? Also, are they just like freewheeling, letting people out into the public upon their release with like little to no supervision? That's really shocking to me. So let me know what you guys think about that. She also said that the DMVs were closed for 2 months, which I believe that. So she couldn't obtain a driver's license, which meant she couldn't drive and she couldn't apply for jobs. Again, I want to call back to the ankle monitor because that would indicate house arrest. I'm not sure where she could really go if she was confined to a certain location, and she even spoke about that on the show, that she was under house arrest. So I don't know what job she thought she would have been getting. She does mention in the article, though, that most jobs were going to essential workers, and she certainly wasn't an essential worker, so there's that. What another takeaway that I found interesting was she refers to being released to an alien planet, and with the little to no resources that she had and her relationship with Scott, she eventually relapsed. So, there's that. She does blame Scott's behavior for their split, and they indicated that that is going to be talked about more in the next installment of this interview. Lindsey also claims that she moved out while they were filming Life After Lockup. She claimed that she tried to retrieve the rest of her belongings, but Scott told her he had a weapon in the house, which prevented Lindsey from collecting her stuff. Because she's a convicted felon, it would violate her probation to be around any weapons, including guns. More on that in just a second. Another thing she mentions in this interview is that Scott did make a police report for the damage that she caused to his house. She claims that he tacked on things to the list of damages so that the amount of money in the damages would meet the felony criteria. And that worked because she is facing a felony malicious mischief charge for this event. She was arrested for that in June, but she posted like a $500 bond and she was released. Then in July, because remember I talked about before that there was a time where she was arrested and released and then rearrested, and it was kind of unclear like what happened. So she was arrested on July 8th on it, but she says that this is an invalid warrant because she was out on bond for the charge that she was arrested for. So she shouldn't have been rearrested. But Lindsey, the string of unfortunate events is super unlucky because even though this was an invalid warrant, police did find meth and a gun in the car. Lindsey has already denied that this contraband was hers, and she was test driving a car, a 2017 BMW. How was she gonna buy that car? Because at this point she had already broken up with Scott. I don't know if she was talking to anyone else, had anyone else funding her lifestyle, but how was she going to buy a car? On December 17th, she was found to be in violation of her probation and she was sentenced to 24 months in prison. She has to satisfy 85% of the sentence, so she is expecting to be released in March of 2022, but she still has pending charges, including this criminal mischief that she has to answer for. So that could lead to further jail time. I think my biggest takeaway from this interview is something that we've known about Lindsey all along, and that is that she blames everyone else for her problems. She was test driving a car from an auto dealership. How on earth would there be meth and a gun in a car? It wasn't, I thought, oh, maybe she was saying that because she was like test driving a car from someone off Craigslist or something. But that is so wildly unbelievable that I can't believe she actually expects people to buy that as an excuse. You know, on camera, we saw her do a lot of damage to Scott's house with the desk and the computer and his clothes. I mean, she says that he tacked on like an Xbox and something else that she didn't damage, but I don't think he really needed to make a big lengthy list because there's video evidence, and I think the desk and the computer, depending on how much the computer was worth, was probably enough to qualify for that felony mischief. She blames everything on Scott, even though, I mean, I'm no big fan of Scott. I think he's a big fraud. I think he crosses the boundaries of what's appropriate when, you know, we know that he resigned from his job as a social worker for getting too involved in a case. So definitely not a big fan of Scott, but he was providing for Miley Grace. So, you know, on the one hand, she seems to really have bit the hand that fed her. She's blaming the fact that she never had an adequate amount of resources upon her release, but this is just speculation, but for how she behaved on the show when she was under like a 14-day quarantine, it really didn't seem like she was going to be living life on the straight and narrow like we've seen, like Maurice, Lamar. Brittany, they don't seem to be headed down the path of reoffending. So Lindsey definitely did not fit into that category for me. I'm very interested to read the next installment of this interview because it's going to go more into her relationship with Scott. So who knows what she's going to talk about, but she's very candid and believe what you want to believe, I guess. Let me know what you guys think of this interview. I encourage you guys to read the article in full because it is very interesting. And damn, like she still has a year to go on some stupid ass shit. Like that's another year away from her daughter, another year on the inside. I mean, I think we can all agree that rehabilitation does not occur inside prisons for the most part. So it's just I think the biggest tragedy is just that she has a daughter who has such an unstable life that is just really tragic. Let me know what you guys think of this interview. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Reality Squad, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow for some more content. And we're gonna talk James Charles, which I have not talked about on this YouTube channel before, and it's a whole mess. So we got lots to talk about there. All right, you guys, have a good Saturday. Take care. Much love.